What's up, boys and girls? This is Lance White, and you are watching WGS-TV.
Welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. I am WB Malagujo, and this is going to be my Impact Wrestling review for the week of February 23rd, 2012. Now, for those of you who were unaware, after the incidents that happened with Bobby Rhoode and Sting last week on Impact, when Bobby Rhoode kicked Sting right in the penis, yes, because that's basically what happened, and Sting went on his Twitter and, in a cryptic style fashion, tweeted, "I'm done. I'm done." With no backbone about it. No further tweets saying, what has he done? What does he mean? Is he retired or anything like that? So that's basically, the whole premise of this episode of Impact Wrestling. They're trying to follow up on what Sting said, and it won't be until the end of the night when Sting would come out and address what he said on his Twitter. And so they open up the show in a typical fashion. They have Bobby Rhoode come out and give his response, give his feelings, his reactions to what Sting said. And of course, with Bobby Rhoode being the selfish heel that he is, he's happy with the fact that he feels he's the one that's causing what he feels to be Sting's retirement. Bobby Rhoode did an excellent job on the microphone. You can never expect anything but the best when it comes to mic work with Bobby Rhoode. He's always got, one of the best mic skills I've ever heard. I thought it was a really great promo to open up the show with, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 out of 5. I've always enjoyed Bobby Roode's, not only his in-ring work, but his mic skills work as well. The next match was a return match for the first match, rather, is the return match for the TNA World Tag Team Championship. Samoa Joe and Magnus going against the former champions in the form of Crimson and Matt Morgan. Great work with both men. They were really great match. But I think one of the things they're going to try to highlight now is the fact that since Crimson and Matt Morgan are no longer tag team champions, they might try to have them resume their feud they had before they became champions. They were feuding back and forth, and Crimson is still technically undefeated in Impact Wrestling. So I think maybe what they're probably looking at trying to do is possibly resume that feud with Crimson and Matt Morgan and keep the titles on Magnus and Samoa Joe, because apparently Impact Wrestling, they see something in these two as a tag team. They see something in them. If they didn't see anything in them, they wouldn't have put the titles on them in the first place. But other than that, I would have to say really enjoyable match. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5. Now, before we get to the next match, there was an interview that was conducted with Jesse Sorensen since, his unfortunate accident at TNA Against the Odds with Zema Ion, and, I feel really bad for the guy. This kid's only 22 years old. He's only 22 years old, and quite possibly, suffered, what's got to be termed one of the most traumatic experiences in his life. I mean, to be laying there wanting to move your arms and your legs, and they're not working, and you can't move when you want your body to move, it's got to be one of the most scariest moments in your life. And I feel really bad for the guy. I really feel bad for Jesse, and for TNA to start setting up things where fans can send get well wishes to Jesse Sorensen. I thought that was a stand-up move by Impact Wrestling, a stand-up move by Dixie Carter. For those of you who don't know, Dixie Carter actually flew out Jesse's mom at her expense to Florida to be with her son in the hospital. I don't know if Vince McMahon would have done that in the WWE, but Dixie Carter actually took it upon herself to fly Jesse's mom to Florida just so that she can be with him. I thought that was an extremely stand-up move by Dixie Carter. It's not very often you hear me praising Dixie Carter on doing anything in the professional wrestling business, but she did a really outstanding move by flying out her mom. Jesse's been released from the hospital, and They're saying he's going to make a full recovery, but it will be a very slow process. Considering the fact it's a neck injury, it's a very serious injury, and a lot of people are saying, including the doctors, are saying it would probably be a full year before he's able to make a full recovery, and even beyond that, I don't think he'll ever be able to be cleared to professionally wrestle ever again, considering that neck injury. And but be that as it may, I myself, I just want to take this time out to send my best wishes and my get well wishes to Jesse Sorensen and his family. And Jesse, I really hope that, just the off chance if you're watching this video, just want to send you, wish you the best of luck, and a speedy recovery, and I hope everything turns out all right for you, because nobody deserves to go through what you're going through right now, even though it was an accident, and that's all it was an accident. Just keep in mind, just work hard, train hard, and you can fully recover from this. And I just want to wish you the best of luck, and I'm pretty sure all of my viewers and subscribers here on WGS-TV feel the same way, that we want to wish you the best of luck, and send all of our get well wishes to you. And hopefully we'll see you within the coming months here on professional wrestling. Now, on to the next segment. After that, it was a match between Zema Ion and Alex Shelley. Now, I think they're really trying to start up something here with Zema Ion. They're really looking at this kid as a kid with talent, and he is really talented, despite, he was the one that was involved in the accident with Jesse Sorensen. So we have to kind of scratch that out of our minds, because, like I said, it's an accident. We can't blame him for it. There's a whole saying, accidents happen. Stuff happens. And there's nothing we can do about that. But they're really going to push Zema Ion here. But he really gave a really good match with Alex Shelley. A very entertaining match. I love the X Division, and the fact that they're trying to revive it, in a sense, in Impact Wrestling is a really good move, in my opinion. One of the main reasons I started watching TNA in the first place was for the X Division, and all the great action and all the entertaining action they were bringing to professional wrestling. And the fact that they're trying to revitalize this division within Impact Wrestling is a very smart move. And Alex Shelley, great work. Zema Ion, great work. But Zema Ion gets the win. But what puzzles me is, they're pushing him for the X Division title match against A-Double, Austin Aries. Austin Aries is a heel, and Zema Ion is being pushed as a heel. Now, if they're going heel versus heel for the title, does that mean one of them is turning face? And speaking of A-Double, Austin Aries, I thought it was really kind of entertaining that he actually came out during the match and actually sat down with a soda and a bag of popcorn and just sat there and watched the match. I thought that was hilarious. But I'm going to go ahead and give the match a 4 out of 5. Very entertaining, and I expect big things from Zema Ion. He is really entertaining to watch. Next up, we have they had a promo with Madison Rayne, kind of explaining her actions from last week. With her becoming the #1 contender in that Knockouts Battle Royal, and why she did it. So she's supposed to be, Gail Kim's best friend, and she is a tag team partner in the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. And let's just say, a lot of the reasonings and the logic they're trying to implement behind the storyline with Madison Rayne, it's enough to make you want to grab a ball of Tylenol and just go to town with it. That's all I can say. But the next match, it was Gail Kim and ODB, and whenever I see ODB and Eric Young, I'm thinking, oh boy, here comes another rendition of the Young and the Witless. And I keep wondering, is there something living in Eric Young's beard? Because for some reason, maybe it's just me, I see something shiny and something kind of moving in his beard. I don't know what it is. But, Gail Kim's top was a little see-through on Impact Wrestling. That's all I'm going to say. But like I've said it countless times on here. I've said it countless times on WGS Radio. The TNA knockouts much more entertaining to watch than the WWE Divas because of two reasons. They have the look and they have the talent. WWE Divas, about a good 90% of them only have the look. They have absolutely no talent. No talent whatsoever. But I thought it was a great match with Gail Kim and ODB. And they're really trying to put something behind, Gail Kim and Madison Rayne. I don't know if they're going to be either splitting them up or if they're going to be turning Gail Kim face now or Madison Rayne kind of a kooky face. I don't know what they're going to be doing. But as far as this match is concerned, I thought it was very entertaining. 3.5 out of 5. And the next match, it was for the TNA television title, which is a title that TNA is kind of frowning upon, and they shouldn't have done that. But it's AJ Styles and Robbie E. And it was very predictable the way it was going to go in a fashion. With AJ Styles being heavily involved with the storyline with Daniels Kazarian, we almost knew that those two were going to come out and cause a disqualification and cost AJ Styles the TNA television title. And lo and behold, it happened. Predictable. Whenever wrestling becomes predictable, it becomes boring. And that's exactly what happened. Now, albeit Styles, did his best to carry that match because Robbie E., I don't know why they put the television title on Robbie E. or give him any kind of significance, because this Jersey Shore gimmick that they stuck with ever since he came into TNA is just absolutely god-awful. Now, he has some wrestling ability, but for him to be recognized as a champion within the company is just kind of ludicrous in my opinion. But I have to go 3 out of 5. I have to go 3 out of 5 on this one, guys. It was so amazingly predictable that Styles was going to get DQ'd because of what was going to be happening with Daniels and Kazarian. It was just absolutely unfreaking predictable. It was so freaking predictable, man. And that's what I'm trying to say here. And I just thought it was a horrible move. They should have did something else. But I just hate it when I watch something on wrestling nowadays and I call it, I see it coming, and they actually go through with it. I just hate it when that happens. But like I said, 3 out of 5. I could go lower. Than a 3 out of 5. But considering the fact it's AJ Styles and he did his best to carry that match with him and Robbie E., I got to give it to him. I'm going to give him just a medium score, the 3 out of 5. I could go 2 out of 5 or even a 1.5 out of 5, just because of the predictability factor of the interference with Daniels and Kazarian. But since it's Styles, he's talented. I know he can carry a match no matter what. 3 out of 5. Next up was... Alright, hold on. I want to skip back a second. I skipped a segment. I apologize about that. There was a segment I was supposed to talk about, and I absolutely skipped over it, and I do apologize. But then again, it's a segment that was just absolutely god-awful. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now, this segment of 1 out of 5. It's the segment involving Brandon Jacobs of the New York Giants and Bully Ray. Why did TNA think this was a good idea to actually use this guy? This is an example of how he talked in this promo. I got my brother Dustin here with me. You may hear him giggle in a second or so, but this is how he talked. I'm coming to get you now. I like to poop. That's the way he kind of talked. That's the way that Brandon Jacobs apparently thought he had to actually enunciate his words, and he did a horrible job at that. Brandon Jacobs needs to stick with what he knows best, and that's putting on a pair of shoulder pads and a helmet and running. That's all he knows how to do. He can pretend to be a tough guy all he wants, but I gotta concur with the sentiments of Bully Ray. If you're in the Super Bowl and you only go 50 yards and you don't even score a touchdown, And then how significant are you? You know, I have no regards for the New York Giants whatsoever. Now, I'm not going to disregard their abilities as a football team. No, don't get me wrong. They're a good football team. But, hey, they beat my Saints in the playoffs. So I got a grudge with them. That's all I'm going to say. I have a grudge with them because they beat my New Orleans Saints. But, anyway, we're not talking football on this one. And I can kind of understand why they want to try to insert Brandon Jacobs into a storyline in Impact Wrestling. You know, he's got some sort of, you know, he's got some pull, he's got some stroke. You know, he's kind of a big name, you know, being on the Super Bowl champion New York Giants. You know, I can kind of see the reasoning for having him there, but he was just absolutely awful on the microphone. Just so unbelievably awful. You know, now when it comes to dialing up the intensity, you know, he can do that. You know, he didn't have an issue with that, but he was just god-awful on that microphone. I don't want to ever hear that promo again. It was basically about 5 to 10 minutes of my life I will never get back. You know, he sucked the life out of everyone, you know, and the fans were cheering him. They were chanting his name. Now, I gotta figure that's gotta be edited in, because Brandon Jacobs was so awful on that microphone. You know, I would rather watch the WWE Divas in a 3-minute match than ever have to watch Brandon Jacobs in that promo again. That's how awful he was. 1 out of 5. I'm sorry, Bully Ray. I know you're good on the microphone, and you know, you tried to do your best to carry that segment, but Brandon, you know, if it wasn't for Brandon Jacobs, this would have been a good show, but Brandon Jacobs brought that show down a notch just because of that god-awful promo that he cut on Impact Wrestling last week. 1 out of 5. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to step it back up to the main event, of which Brandon Jacobs was kind of involved in. It was James Storm and Jeff Hardy taking on Bully Ray and Kurt Angle in a no disqualification tag team match. Great match, but again, it was highlighted by Brandon Jacobs getting in the ring, distracting Bully Ray, allowing James Storm to hit the super kick and get the win for his team. Then we go to Sting and Bobby Rhoode, and what this is, it's Sting reverting back to his insane icon gimmick. You know, he was putting up the wild makeup, and it's basically going to be Sting and Bobby Rhoode at victory. Whether the title's going to be on the line, I'm not sure. You know, after Sting kicks Bobby Rhoode in the penis, he gets on the microphone and actually says, "Follow the yellow brick road to Victory Road, Bobby. Follow the yellow brick road." Whenever Sting's doing his insane icon gimmick, he looks like he's drank way too much coffee or he smoked a bad batch of crack. But it was still funny as hell. Still funny as hell. 4 out of 5. So in essence, it was a good show if it wasn't for the Brandon Jacobs segment. But other than that, really great show for Impact Wrestling this week, so I'll give it to him. So what I want to know now is, what do you guys, the WGS-TV viewers and subscribers, have to say about Impact Wrestling this week? You know the 2 ways to do it. Leave your comments in the comment section below, or in a video response with your thoughts on Impact this week. So with that being said, I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux saying thank you very much for watching.